Episode 1. Golden Heroes, The Year That Never Was. In Session 0, not only did we roll up characters, we had a small beginning of the adventure. The team was sitting in a coffee shop in London. They had a phone call from DICE. There was a meeting that was required. Please come, please help. The team went to Battersea Power Station, which is the headquarters of DICE, where they were met with a number of agents and a talking tree. It seems that most of the DICE agents are wrapped up in two major operations. So they had an incident that they require some investigation, thought they would reach out to a team, and you have got that investigation. So the two main ones that are going on are Operation Woodsman. A large portion of the UK has suddenly been taken over by trees. They don't know why. And the other operation is to do with the Mirrors of Shalott, which initially was enabling people for decades to transport themselves around the world by stepping into one mirror, stepping out of another mirror. Suddenly, all those hundreds of mirrors stopped working, and a ghostly face was seen on the mirror. So DICE are looking at that and looking at the Woodsman issue. Problem with all of those is that this extra element that you are looking at seems to be very loosely, maybe coincidentally, linked to those two. There's imagery from a CCTV camera of a person getting up from a coffee table at a Jacobean house that's owned by the National Trust, walking over to a statue, touching it and vanishing. As it turns out, this facial recognition, you discover that she is Trickster Girl, who was a minor villain in the late 70s, and she died in 1980, being killed by a superhero called the Commodore, who went to jail for it because it was murder. But that was 1981. You went to go then to find where Commodore was to speak to him. Turns out, after he came out of Belmarsh, he went into a nursing home in Whitby, run by Dr. Cordrew. You went up to speak to him, and he was off his face on morphine until he kind of woke up and gave you a prophetic vision of some lucid speech. In that, he mentioned somebody called Time Lord. Time Lord was a guy that was running around the 90s, up to the 90s, sorry, and he essentially looks like John Pertwee with his little yellow kit car. That's and also you discover that the Anderson Institute has links to Trickster Girl. They have their head office in a place in Whitby. They did have their only satellite office was in Westwich, but that was destroyed. And you had some details about Trickster Girl's adopted parents. So you went to speak to the supervillain. The guy in the Commodore. Then after that, you drove back to your hotel. So we kind of picked up the trail at your hotel. I don't know if you want to go around the room and or around the virtual desktop and introduce each of your characters.
Yep. Shall I go first? So,
Yep.
Hello, I'm Steve, and I am playing Spencer Church, aka Talisman, who is a magical-based hero. He has an amulet, which has given him a range of magical abilities. So that is Talisman.
I'll jump in then. My name is Anthony. I'm playing Dr. Sally Blake, codenamed the Vixen. She has some psychic powers in a human form, and has the ability to change form into basically a werefox, in which form she has some pretty good martial arts skills.
I'll go next. My name's Roger. Playing the superhero called Mercury Man, so called because of his extremely reflective sort of skin. One of his remarkable powers is he's able to change shape, basically stretch and morph himself, and can fly, but is actually also an alien from another part of the galaxy.
And I'm Mike. I am playing Terry Mitchell, aka Diamond Geezer. My abilities are he has, as the name suggests, diamond hard skin and enhanced strength.
Excellent. So you find yourselves back in the hotel. Your van's parked outside. What you have got in the Google Drive, there is the clues. What are your plans for next?
Well, I need to find a peppermint tea, man, because that guy in the old people's home was stressing me out. So Spencer's going to go off downstairs. Well, he's going to go into the kind of bar area, seeing if I can scrounge up a peppermint tea. And as he goes, you hear him talking to himself, as he's wont to do on occasion. So even though it might be very late at night, he's still going to go and try and score up a peppermint tea by sort of rooting around in the bar area to see if he can find anything. First of all, before I do anything else.
Okay, well, 1d6. One you don't. Roll 1d6 and see what you get.
Okay.
And that'll determine how well you get, what kind of tea you get.
I rolled a 6.
6. You get the best peppermint tea you have ever had. In fact, you mark this place down on your phone as a comeback place, because this peppermint tea, you thought you've had peppermint tea before, but no, this is peppermint tea.
Okay, so I give the amulet of Merdin a little tap as I make this realization how good this peppermint tea is. So I just give it a little friendly tap. And this behaviour is something that might be disconcerting to people who haven't spent much time with him, but he does spend a lot of time, apparently, in a having a little inner dialogue with himself, or perhaps with the amulet. But anyway, so okay, happily, I'll retreat back up to the room. I take it have we got individual rooms, or so has Dice stretched to that, or have we got shared rooms?
You have how many is it? There's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 of you. Yeah. So you have two double rooms.
Yeah,
2 double rooms.
So I go back to my double room, happily nursing my.
One of the things that happens,
my tea.
As you mark on the map this location to come back for your peppermint tea, you get a reminder of the superhero convention that's going on in Bristol, that you were going to go down. And this isn't a comic book superhero convention. This is essentially a bunch of all the superheroes or superpower people kind of having a bit more than fanboy, just a meet-up event in Bristol that kind of goes on every year. And you've essentially forgotten to go because you were wrapped up doing something else. But you did have tickets, and you were going to go down there this weekend. But what with getting called up to Dice, it's effectively slipped all of your minds about going. It's just you're like, oh shit, I forgot to go.
We're working for the government now, man. So we'll probably have to duck out of this, won't we?
Yeah. It's essentially a meet-up of the mystery men kind of guys, all the low-level, minor-sanctioned guys, superheroes, and the odd full-on superhero would turn up. The rest of you are kind of like passing notes to each other and where to get the best spandex. So it's basically a big drinking fest, but always a bit of a laugh once a year to pop down there.
One thing that occurs to me then, just before I shut up and let someone else talk, is given that we're in Whitby, then it would seem obvious that in our discussions, then Spencer will bring up the fact that we should probably visit the Anderson Institute, considering that Trickster Girl has some sort of. So, am I right in thinking Trickster Girl that's where she was raised? Is that right? Do I remember that correctly?
No. So the Anderson Institute has had their only satellite office in Westwich, where Trickster Girl was born, and it was there, not born, where she was raised because she's adopted. It's there where they were there. Sorry, they were there at the time she was growing up.
That was the place that burnt down, wasn't it?
Actually, that place has been destroyed, damaged badly. The Anderson Institute had a single external office away from its main institute, a satellite office. The office was in Westwich, where Trickster Girl grew up.
I think, as if I'm right, the institute's now in Whitby, so I think it would be would seem to be more than a coincidence. So I think we should definitely visit the Anderson Institute.
The institute was abandoned in 1981 when the Mirror of Shalott was destroyed. That they had a Mirror of Shalott in there.
So when did
school for gifted youngsters or something now?
Yeah. Essentially, so the backstory of the Anderson Institute, the Eagles. One of them was called Protector. John Anderson. He started working on creating superheroes. The first 20 that he had a go at trying to create,
wasn't it Jeff Anderson?
Jeff Anderson, yeah. It went completely, not John, Jeff. It went completely insane, and they ran amok, and he was the only successful one. And he spent a lot of time capturing, getting rid of, trying to rehabilitate each of those villains or those creations. Eventually, he became an Eagle, and the Institute got on level footing and was given to another bunch of people to look after. So he had nothing to do with it now. But they had moved to Whitby.
They might have records possibly to do with maybe they have records on Trickster Girl possibly, but again, it seems to me that as it's in the same town, and given its original proximity to Westwick, which is where she came from, it seems to be too much of a coincidence. So Spencer will say, guys, listen, the amulet's telling me, man, we need to go to we definitely need to check out the Institute, but maybe we could do that tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm slightly confused because last time we finished the session, we were at the retirement home of Dr. Corday. So I'm a little bit confused as to why we're back at the hotel at the moment.
You'd spoken to the Commodore who was in Whitby, in the retirement home. You'd got as much information out of him as possible, and we couldn't remember whether you'd left that or not. So just decided to start at the hotel because nobody could remember exactly the end point. Does that make sense?
That's fair enough.
I'll just read what so from what we discussed earlier. So the Commodore said when questioned, he had a rational moment where he said, "She is there when I am in and out of darkness, when I am in and out of sleep. She is the queen of my nightmares. I first met Trickster Girl in the summer of '77. She was trying to deface Postman Park. I showed her what's what. I then met her later in the square where she attacked me, so I threw her against the statue." So that was kind of that's what and he also then told us to speak to Time Lord. And as Kevin said, so Time Lord was a figure who's basically John Pertwee's doctor, essentially.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's what he told us.
Yeah, that's roughly where we had got to at the end of last session. That's perfect. Right.
Cool.
I don't mind rolling it back to still being at the just leaving the retirement home. It's entirely up to you. If there's anything else you want to do at the retirement home, or simply end up at the hotel, up to you.
To be perfectly honest, Sally is quite happy if it looks as though we've hit as much of a brick wall as we're going to. And we'll scoot off and.
On the upside, I found a really good peppermint tea back at the hotel. So
Exceptionally good.
Just a quick thought. The Commodore said he threw Trickster Girl against a statue.
That's the statue of the grey seer.
Is that the one she tapped when you disappeared?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the statue that's at that Jacobean house, if I've got that bit right.
Yes.
Okay.
That's some distance away, right? Because we're in.
Yeah, that's
we're
some
in. So we're up in Yorkshire.
That's in Wiltshire.
Yeah. So that's for another time. But yeah. Okay.
It's just interesting that it is in fact the same statue.
Yeah. It's and you went back through the CCTV footage to discover that this event has been being replayed for at least 5 years, but that's all you could do. You could only go back 5 years of video footage.
Yeah. Perfect.
How do we find this Time Lord?
So, the only place with records of superheroes and supervillains is Solo.
That's the Superhuman something liaison organisation, isn't it?
It is. I did the acronyms up, and
I'm just having a look. I think they're in your. I'm just looking in your clues document, but I don't think they're in there.
I dropped them. No, I dropped them into the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure it's because this is the one that Russ came up with, isn't it?
No, Solo's the one that's in the main book. Russ came up with Sod, and
of course he did.
The other one.
Yeah. Or Biscuit.
No, not Biscuit. STD. No, STD. STI.
Don't worry, I can edit that bit out. That's fine.
Yeah. I can't remember what the name of the other one was. I copied and pasted them all into.
So I'm scrolling back through. Carry on. I'll get there, and I'll read them out. I'll tell you what it is when we get to it. Go ahead.
So that's run by a chap called, or the guy in charge is the current liaison officer. Is DCI Chambers, and because you have everyone, it sort of acts as your union as well. Sometimes he runs out of the Met's Black Museum.
Cool.
He's contactable via Twitter or the secure website. The Black Museum is currently in the basement of the Curtis Green building.
Okay. So sorry, just to interrupt. So superpowered operative liaison organisation is what Solo is.
Yeah. So what was the one that Russ came up with?
He came up with SOD was Special Operatives Department.
Yeah.
Crash was the Crash, and he came up also with PSI, which is the Paranormal Studies Institute. That's
it. That's the one that's currently in Cardiff.
Okay, yeah. So there's one called Crash, which apparently has got a rude acronym, but you haven't posted that one. So
no, I didn't get down to Crash. Crib is another group that's actually with. So all of those, DICE is an offshoot of Interpol.
Mm-hmm.
So it's European in nature. Biscuit, Solo, and Crib and SOD and PSI are British in nature or UK in nature.
Got it.
So we now know what Talisman is doing. What are the rest of you doing?
Well, I know that the Anderson Institute is now based at, is it Mulgrave?
Yeah, Mulgrave, the ruins of Mulgrave Castle in Mulgrave Woods, on the outskirts of Whitby.
Yeah, obviously not knowing the area particularly, I suggest at least one of us or a couple of us either ask for directions from the hotel staff, stick in a Google search, that sort of thing.
So with that in mind, I'm assuming all of you have smartphones.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, do you have contracts or do you have pay as you go?
Mhm.
Just in case, because that'll determine whether it's you get 3G, 4G, or 5G, or how good your connection is.
I'm guessing Talisman's probably got a pay as you go. To be honest,
I would guess everyone's got pay as you go. Or did you take the opportunity to buy burner phones?
I've got a burner phone listed on my equipment already.
Okay.
But
That's not that important until you start going. If you split up the communications, it can be important if you decide to go in other directions. So we've where we at? What are we doing?
These are not conversations that you would have in an Avengers movie, are they? With them,
No.
Worrying about if they've got pay as you go.
Yep. But it might come in handy because you are at that level of just getting by. You are just about managing. As you are superheroes that are just about managing. You're the jam heroes.
I will take Dr. Blake's finance level 5 to mean that she's probably on a contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're probably the most well off out of all of us. I think, if I remember rightly from looking at the resource when I was filling in those ratings.
It's still Kevin's goodwill, I admit, but I'm assuming he's based it on the fact that she's got the material level 8 from the background.
Yeah, so the Mercury Man has a high resource level, but that's less about money, more about the fact that he's an alien, really.
Yeah. By the way, Kevin's goodwill is a concept that I've heard about, but I've never actually seen in reality. So
it's highly overrated.
Roger, can I just remind you about the little lad in Shanghai or whatever it was?
Is that a story for another time?
Oh, I constantly got to have kids. No, you had the kids in Egypt that stole your baggage, that you decided to go down after them, and then these kids were robbing you something rotten every 5 minutes. Because
I'm just warning you. In this game, we've got energy blasts. So any little bits coming anywhere near my stuff, it's not going to end well. Is all I'm saying.
That's fine. So, just need to establish what the rest of you are doing before we you talk amongst yourselves to decide what your plan of attack is.
Just a question before we go on. I want to go back to the place that burnt down was destroyed. I can't remember what it was.
Original Anderson Institute.
That's right.
That was in the town of Westwich.
Yeah, but you mentioned that it had
Georgia.
It had the something to do with the mirrors. Sorry, I can't remember what
So it had a mirror of Shalott, which, for all intents and purposes, blew up. But that is different event to the current mirrors of Shalott.
Right.
The mirrors of Shalott at the moment stopped working several days ago. That mirror of Shalott blew up. 81-ish.
Okay. So
that's
give or take a year.
Yeah.
So was that mirror connected to the current network? Or
Yes. So they're all part of the same network, but for some reason that blew up or was destroyed earlier on. The other thing is Westwich.
Is that what destroyed the Institute?
Yes.
The mirror.
And the mirrors are obviously not a secret, right? They're obviously something that's known about. So okay.
Yeah, you haven't experienced going through a mirror, but you've heard about them in on HeroNet, and there's tales of people using mirrors. I don't think Diamond Geezer used a mirror. Pretty sure you didn't get an opportunity to use one.
Doesn't ring a bell. That's why I'm asking. So.
You didn't go to the farm or Jezreel's tower either, did you? No, you didn't. Pretty sure you didn't go there. Anyway, so yes, the other thing with Westwich, where the other institute is that it is currently quarantined by DICE because there's trees everywhere. That's part of Operation
Woodsman, yeah.
By the way, just to remind everyone, I've got this acorn, haven't I, that I picked up from Dryad, who was the talking tree who briefed us last time.
Yes.
So I have that in my pocket, which apparently is a communication device. Although every time I've looked at it, it just seems to be like an acorn. But I'm sure it will become clear.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'd forgot to mention in the main room.
I made a point of reading Ant's excellent notes, and I made a note on my character sheet to remind me that I had it. So thank you.
Thank you.
So, what are you going to do? If you want to talk amongst yourselves aside.
Well, if it's at night, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I assume we'll probably just turn in. We've been to we've been to talk to the Commodore, and the only leads he's given us are Time Lord, basically, and the events around Trickster Girl were centered in Westwich, which we sort of knew about anyway.
Yeah.
And obviously, as you say, he was confused and but he had a moment of lucidity. But the only kind of thing he said was talk to Time Lord. So that's an obvious thing to follow up on, but obviously we can't do much about that right now. And again, from my end, it seems to me that we should at least visit the Anderson Institute, if only to get a feel for the place and to see whether there's any connection, because it seems a almighty coincidence that, with all the links that has to Trickster Girl and to this investigation, that they happen to be in the same town that Commodore has ended up in. So it might be nothing, but I think we as we're here, we should visit it.
And it took you 5 hours to drive here, so you're
exactly.
in a battered out van, so you are quite exhausted.
Yeah. So I think we should do that tomorrow. I think we should look into Time Lord, so we can do some Googling, see what we can find out about Time Lord.
Have we got any? I'm assuming we ain't got laptops or anything like that. I mean, we connect to the internet apart from the phone.
You've just got your cell phone,
right.
your mobile phone. It's not America.
Well, I'm going to, as I say, I'm going to go back to the room and I'm going to see what I can dig up on Time Lord. Just have a look online, see if browse the Googles.
So a quick Google search will put up images of a guy looking like a 17th century rake.
Yeah.
There's images of him with Roman soldiers, with a giant eagle, with some dinosaurs, and all of that while driving a yellow Cetor Tourer. Each photo has a dark-haired woman with him, and he seems to have vanished. This is about 97. The bulk of these Roman soldiers and dinosaurs. It seems he vanished some time ago.
Nobody's seen him since.
No, but you Google superheroes and Time Lord, you're going to get 50 years of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So you've got to kind of on your phone kind of whittle down all of that information, get rid of that, and just superheroes called Time Lord. It's not.
Where was he last seen?
Birmingham.
When was he last seen?
About 97, I believe.
What's the circumstances?
He was running amok with some dinosaurs and a giant eagle all over Birmingham. There were a couple of attempts to. That's all the information you're going to get unless you go and speak to Solo.
Okay.
And where is Solo based?
Yes. That was just
the Met's Black Museum in London.
Okay.
In New Scotland Yard.
So I guess we could go via Birmingham, possibly on the way back, because again we're in Yorkshire, so we could, if we're going to go to London, we could go via Birmingham and at least see if there's any local knowledge about Time Lord and get a bit more background on that, and then probably London for that, and then I guess the next step after that's probably Westwick, if we can get to Westwick, because again, if depending on what the Anderson Institute does turns up, but
you'd probably need to sneak into Westwich.
Yeah, fair enough. Not when you've got teleport, you don't have to.
You've got teleport, yes. Yeah. Is that without error?
Yeah, I think so. Well,
what's your encumbrance? Oh no, sorry.
I can carry people, but there's obviously it uses up hits Tacoma and hits Tacoma points. I think per.
Yeah.
I'll look at the rules when I need it. But anyway, yeah, it's so that's my feeling is we do thingy tomorrow because it's here. See where that does. If that does nothing for us, then we can head back down via Birmingham, find out about Time Lord, and then head down to London to the Black Museum.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah,
cool.
How far can you actually teleport?
It's not. I can't teleport like the whole length of the country. It's in fact, if you hang on a minute, it's a good
meters,
point.
isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
it's I mean, it's
meters.
more of the because the thing with Golden Heroes is a lot of it is sort of combat focused. So in other words, it's your powers are useful in sort of on the tabletop rather than it being so grade 1.
I don't think it's quite like Night Stalker. What's that?
Nightcrawler.
Yeah, maximum range at grade 1. So I've got grade 2, I think. So teleport grade 2. The maximum range I can teleport is 800 meters, which is it's a fair distance.
Yeah.
But again, I lose hits to coma points. If I so up to 20, so it'll cost me 20 hits to coma to teleport 800 meters, which if you're not in a fight is not really an issue, but if you're in a fight that can obviously be a bit of a problem. But it's basically physically taxing to do it. But I can also carry passengers as well. But again, that just is additional, additional strain. So that's like a very desperate maneuver to do that. But anyway,
When you're out of earshot, they do refer to that particular power as riding you like a donkey.
okay, I bet they do.
So not Birmingham then.
No, it's not so you couldn't just pop out and pop into Birmingham and do a bit and pop back.
It would be awesome, but yeah, that's not. Yeah, it's a fairly limited range.
It's a level of convenience that you're not going to get. So, one of the characters, one of your team members, has a relatively small to medium size online presence, given that he's done a couple of high profile bits, and there was a court case involving a flying ship that Disney wanted back. So one assumes, given that Diamond Geezer will
Nothing to do with me, Gov.
No, I think it was the other that stole it. Well, you lost your money for the having it Disney getting it back. But one of the things Diamond Geezer will do is use his Instagram story to promote himself because he basically needs the money. As such, Diamond Geezer will get a I believe the term is a DM. Whilst you've done your Insta post, I'm not that down with this, but you've done your Insta post, and shortly afterwards you do get a DM.
He's going to be from all the people at the convention.
That's there will be people at the convention going, come down, mate. Yeah, I'm a geezer. We need you, and all that.
Yeah,
but you will get a DM, but we'll get to what that DM says when I found her name. Give me a second. One of your many female... No, she's not a female admirer. This is a brand new...
I think the word you're looking for is stalker, isn't it?
Let's go with stalker.
What she does in
Just going to get her name.
What she does in her private life is entirely up to her.
Exactly. So, whilst that's happening, the rest of you are going to be kind of deciding what you want to do.
Yeah, Mercury Man, do you fancy trying to look up the contact details for Solo? I don't know whether we've actually been given that kind of information, but it might be useful if we could find something.
Each of you on your phone has the Twitter account and connectivity to Solo, because everyone's it's like a union, for want of a better term.
That's groovy. So
I'll certainly try to contact them, and if I can,
if you don't mind,
information.
If you don't mind, try and do that, and then I'll try and have a look at this Mulgrave Castle Anderson Institute place and just get some directions and some background if I can.
Okay, so the Mulgrave Institute, everything you can find off Google is what you find about the Mulgrave house and the ruins.
Yeah.
It's an old castle in some woods. The Anson Institute on their website. The website's it's one of those corporations that tells you lots of things but tells you nothing on their website. You go through umpteen pages and discover that you don't actually know what they do, but you think it's linked to helping superheroes, possibly. But they do mention the move from their previous headquarters to
The Whitby area.
the Whitby area and the Mulgrave Woods, or the Mulgrave Castle. There's the odd photograph, and it looks like they've essentially built a prefabricated building within the ruins.
Okay, all right.
Which is why they won't move so quickly.
Smashing. Okay, thank you.
It is actually a care home.
Sorry, go on.
No, I've just looked up
Sorry?
Mulgrave House. It's a care home in Leeds.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway,
I'm just wondering whether I should go out on patrol because I'm a superhero, right? So here I am in a town. Maybe I should go out on patrol and see if anyone needs my help. I'm just wondering.
Your first thought is there a sanctioned team that have got a run of the area?
Is there a super team in Whitby? I can't imagine there is.
Squadron Whitby, as they would be potentially called.
Consists of one bloke.
Remember,
He's got no friends.
and he's always down the pub.
you Google it, and
Yeah, he's found in the Dog and Duck.
there
Right,
isn't
mate,
quite.
I'm Squadron Whitby. You sure?
There isn't so much a superhero team. There's more 5 people dressing up as goths and vampires. It's almost a borderline cosplay group more than a.
I'm just thinking though, because again, I'm
LARPers.
reminding
Yeah.
myself that this is that we're superheroes, and obviously one of the things to do with campaign ratings, of course, is your practice. In other words, how often you use your abilities, but also your kind of relationship with the public. So I think I just, as a thought, and maybe maybe what happens is sort of church is pacing about in that. So who's sharing with who? I suppose that's. So that doesn't really matter, but just whoever I'm sharing with, after about half an hour, sort of, he's getting a bit annoyed that church is sort of pacing about. And then he says,
So one of you is going to be a really big fanboy of Diamond Geezer, which is why you contacted him to join your group. So you would have drawn straws to see who shares with Diamond Geezer, because you're still at that stage of this is a guy that's actually done some proper superhero work and has been in a team and has some action and had a fly. And there's images on YouTube of him on that flying galleon.
If I can just
on the
put my...
downside,
Sorry.
on the downside, he does use brute aftershave. So
Yeah.
Well, there is that. Yeah.
I can put my tuppence in. Given what I'd written in the story, it kind of makes sense if Sally chased him down. But I'm not convinced that she'd be particularly keen on sharing a room with him.
No.
It might be
I
better.
reckon Sally would share with Mercury Man because he's an alien.
Exactly,
so it's a
and
bit
she's
less
not really sure
awkward.
what sort of tendencies he might have. So I think that's the right choice.
So it looks like it's Talisman sharing with Diamond Geezer then.
Or it's the 3 boys in one room, and the girl and the lady in the other
I'm
room.
not that much of a prude. The alien's my choice.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, so in that case, then Talisman is sort of pacing about. So I'm guessing Diamond Geezer's probably getting a bit annoyed because he sort of won't settle down. So in the end, he says, I'm just going to go walk the streets, see if I can help somebody. You must know what that's like, right?
Yeah.
Right, Terry, you must know what that's like. I just want to get out there and see if I can help somebody. I'll be back.
Yeah. Go out and enjoy
So before you
yourself,
go, before you go out, you drove all the way up to Whitby out of your superhero costumes because
My costume's basically an overcoat, to be fair.
so at this moment you can decide whether you're going to put your superhero costumes on or still remain with leather jackets and non-superhero costumes. Some of you that will be minor differences, others might be more flamboyant. Entirely up to you.
I'm going to pull on my. So I'm going to pull on my patented duster, and I'll pull out the amulet from under my shirt where I keep it if I'm being discreet. And he's just gonna head out and just gonna walk the streets for an hour and see if anything happens, because I'm a superhero. This is what I should be doing. I should be out there helping people. And again, he's got this as per his background, he does have this kind of almost supernatural desire that's been put into him to help people. So if he's not actively trying to help people, then he gets a bit twitchy. So he's just going to go out and see if I can stop a robbery of a kebab shop or something. Just something to feel like he's made a positive impact.
Go out there.
Okay.
Go out there.
So I'll leave it up to you as to whether he finds anything. But basically, suffice to say, for the next sort of hour and a half, he just leaves the hotel and is just walking the streets really to see if he can find somebody to help.
You need to make a roll on your detection.
Okay. So that's a percentage, isn't it?
That is a percentage.
Okay, so am I rolling? I'll take it. I need to roll under it, presumably.
Yeah.
Which, let's face it, I probably won't, but we'll have a go. We're rolling on a D. Is it a D100? Yes.
D100, yeah.
Absolutely not. I rolled 100.
So you find yourself helping to bump start a tractor in the middle of town. I push harder. I can't do the accent, but I wish I could.
What's
starting a tractor.
What's a tractor doing out in the middle of the night?
I don't know. I can't read or write, but I can half drive a tractor. It's a long way from Cornwall. I know that.
Because obviously one of my abilities is magic strike, so it's like magic energy. So perhaps he puts his hand on the the alternator or whatever, and kind of puts a bit of a magic jolt through it. The amulet glows, and it looks very impressive. But actually, what he's doing is he's jump starting a tractor, which is it's not going to go on his it's not going to go in his official superhero bio, but it's he sort of puts a jolt through this thing, and it kind of jumps into life.
Might end up on TikTok. Hero time.
And perhaps he's given the tractor sentience because it's magic, so you never know, do you?
Yes.
Perhaps we just witnessed the birth of the world's first tractor superhero.
Massey Ferguson, the I down the field. There's rustling going on. I'm going to stop them rustling.
I'm going to try that on the Mid-Journey AI to see what it comes up with a sentient superhero tractor.
Yes.
Was it Captain
John Deere? So perhaps that's a story for another time, that he inadvertently gives birth to the world's first sentient tractor because of his magic energy. But anyway, that's for another time.
So your homework for this evening is to roll up that sentient tractor.
Oh God!
Don't tempt me, because I will.
So old Tom, the tractor driver. I can't control. No. That's like Transformer kind of thing. So anyway, Diamond Geezer.
Yes.
There's a ping from Instagram. A concerned of Yorkshire.
Mm-hmm.
Says Mr. Geezer. Some exclamation marks because that sounds a bit odd. I see you in Whitby.
It's the usual thing is, "Oi, Geezer."
I see you in Whitby.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I may have some information for you.
Tony.
DM me.
Okay, I reply.
That's you scrolled through 15 dick pics, and you've got to
I don't
one.
get dick pics.
Oh, you do. Lots of, and it's all your brother. No.
What he does on that ship is entirely up to him.
Yes.
I know what they say about
it's the entire ship are sending you dick pics because he's bored at sea.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get this of all of the weird and wonderful messages you get from fangirls and fanboys. It's that one oddity that stands out. You get proposals of marriage and other sexual whatevers, but this one kind of jumps out as being a bit odd.
Okay.
Being different to what you're normally getting.
Okay. So
and whilst you're getting that, I've forgotten Fox. What's the Ant? What's your character called again?
Dr. Sally
brain
Blake,
drain.
the Vixen.
Vixen, that's it. Vixen. Vixen. You get a tingly sensation as you're sitting in bed. It's almost as if a sentient being has been born. A burst of mental energy, of weird mental energy, as
That'll be the tractor then.
and then it would be the tractor.
Oh no!
You
I'm telling
can't.
you, character sheet for next time. Just watch this space.
Yeah, and it's like it's weird, weird sound. It's like white noise, but
Ow!
yeah, it's something has given this a psychic entity has been born.
Is Mercury Man in the same room at this moment? Is he?
Yes, he can be. He can be. Unless he's gone down for tea.
Is he looking in any way surprised or different? Do I get the impression he can sense this?
Only you with your psychic ability.
Right, so I can definitely tell it's a psychic essence then, okay.
Yeah, the birth of a psychic essence.
Oh, Vlad, I'm telling you this. I've just had the strangest sensation. Some kind of psychic power has been created. Just felt it in my mind. I don't know where, I don't know why. I'm just letting you know in case I forget.
That's weird. He'll check his own consciousness if he's in case he's felt anything similar.
So you don't have any psychic powers, do you?
No, but he'll check his
No,
consciousness
yeah,
nonetheless.
Yeah, you don't sense anything. You're taking Vixen's word for it. You don't sense anything interesting or anything out of the ordinary has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I take it there's no way that I can sort of pinpoint or get a general sense of direction or anything like that.
No, it's a psychic birth, so it's almost as if you've gone, I'm here. You're like, what? And it's kind of dissipates quite quickly.
Yeah, okie dokie.
But if Talisman comes back and tells you what happened, you get from the time he said and the time you marked this essence, you know that's what happened. You know you heard the birth of that tractor.
Good grief. Right,
Okay.
That's something to match up with a bit later on then.
Yeah, that may come back to bite us in the ass. So, back to Diamond Geezer. You have got a DM from this this woman concerned. She gives you a location.
Okay, so where's this?
Which is a grid reference.
Yeah.
Which is a couple of towns over. It's a flat.
Okay, I'm going to go on Google Maps and Google the area for the flat.
So it's just a.
Is it in a?
It looks like a block of.
Yeah, go on.
It's a block of flats. Nothing out of the ordinary. You can't get.
So it just looks like a residential block of flats.
Yes, just look at residential block flats.
Right. Okay.
I'm just trying to find Whitby. There's Whitby. Let's go Whitby. Just getting the location of this thing up. So there's Whitby. That's where you guys are. So it is the next town over. If I could zoom out. So it's going to be in.
Pick Ugglebarnby.
Where?
There's a place near Whitby. It's I think it's Ugglebarnby.
Ugglebarnby. That's good. That'll work. It's going to have a 3. Yeah, Ugglebarnby.
Okay.
Only a couple of miles out of Whitby, apparently.
Not far. Uncle, yeah. Seems odd.
Hmm.
She hasn't asked. Just meet up. You haven't DM'd her back, but or PM'd or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. What time is it? He said at night. He said it was at night. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what happened was we got to Whitby the night before. We've gone to the retirement home and seen the Commodore.
Yeah. What
Which
time
we
is it?
could-
As I say,
And then
So it's late afternoon. Let's pick a time. Let's say 5 o'clock.
it's round
That's 5
about
o'clock
that.
now.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
Whose van is it? Is it mine?
No,
All right.
you couldn't afford a van, so it has to be either Talisman's or. Oh no, it it was Russ's character's van because he had the van. So it's going to be either Talisman's or Vixen's, unless you want to have it as it's the actual home of Mercury Man because he's driving around in his van. It's anyone but
Me.
Diamond Geezers.
So I'm going to go.
Oh, I thought you said it was Diamond Geezers, the fan.
I wrote it up as
See.
Terry's.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely not Sally's.
So if it is Diamond Geezers, it's Diamond Geezers. It doesn't make much.
Anyway, I'm just going to. I'm going to wander in and. Steve's out on patrol. Who's the one I'm sharing with? Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Right, I'll stick my head in the other room where the other two are. And I'm just going out for a while. I may want to follow something up, and then I'll go out and take a drive.
Okey-doke.
We tag along.
You want?
Yep.
Kind of bored,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
You coming? Are you coming?
I'm not going to get much more sleep after that event, so if it's all right with you, Per, I'll join you.
Yeah, it's fine by me. So anyway, right, I'll drive over. Oh, it's Whittleby.
So your plan is to drive over to the Anderson Institute. Oh no, sorry, no, you're going over to this person's house. Yeah. Okay.
Right, I'm gonna. I can probably see where this is heading. But I'm gonna send her a message back and said, what time would you want to meet? Are you free to? It's fairly close. Did you say? It's not going to take long to get over there. Okay,
Let's say 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'll message you to sort of like, do you want to meet up about 6:30?
That sounds excellent.
And I'll pick a place on the map that's not her house, not that flat. Meet up in public.
There is a cafe attached to a laundrette, which is going to be open at 6:30. Other than that, there's not much in the area that's going to be open as a public place.
Yep. Okay, we'll go to the cafe. I'll say meet at the cafe. Do their food challenge. No.
So it's going to be Diamond Geezer and Mercury Man.
Mm-hmm. Go in civvies. Going in civvies, not in costume.
Is Vixen going?
Yes, I'm tagging along after that experience with the psychic thing. I'm not in bed. I'm not having a siesta anymore.
So you arrive at the little cafe attached to the laundrette. There's a lot of people mulling around, and you're getting looked at because you don't look like you were from the area.
You're not from around here, right?
Certainly, definitely not from around here. After another 20 minutes, a little old lady wanders in and looks around and notices you three sitting down. Nods ahead to.
Actually, before we finish, when we go into the cafe, I'll get the other two to sit at a different table, and then I'll just sit singly on my table. You guys can keep an eye on me.
Okay, so she looks at you, looks at the other guys at a different table, and nods and walks over towards you.
Okay.
Because obviously you've been putting Instagram photographs of you and your team doing stuff, so she recognises the other two anyway.
Well, I'm just sitting at the table reading a copy of The Sun. You know.
Excellent. Not upside down. An hour's passed, so Talisman's still doing the rounds, saving Wanton tractors. She sits down and she says,
It was only the one tractor. Come on, don't exaggerate.
it was one time. She sits down next to you. She says, Mr. Geezer. And again, she kind of nods her head as if to say, I can't, that's a weird surname.
I look at her and say, just call me Terry.
My name is Emma Haig, Dr. Haig.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
And she kind of looks around again. She goes,
And I'm not speaking loudly, I'm speaking quietly.
I've followed your exploits for a while, I guess, and there's some danger here in Whitby.
Okay. What?
There's a secret research institute called Project Chrysalis.
How would you know about that? How would you know?
It's.
How would you come across?
I once worked for them. They're genetically engineering human beings.
Okay.
Only it's top secret. They are attempting to make superheroes that are immune to radiation and biological warfare. I didn't want anything to do with this project, which is why I was fired. But nobody's helping me. Nobody's. I've got no proof other than its location and the doctor that's managing it.
Doctor that's managed.
But as you're in the area, I just thought maybe you could help get some proof on this. But also, you're a bona fide superhero.
Okay. But tell me what you know.
Project Chrysalis, as I said, is a top secret project aimed at genetically modifying humans.
How long has this been going on? How long have they been doing this? How long has the project been going?
Quite a long time, at least a decade.
And how long was it since you worked there? How long ago was it? You say she's an old lady.
She's an old lady.
Okay.
Sometime I left a couple of years ago, but I do know its current location because it moved recently, not that long ago.
Okay. So where is it moved to?
It's being run by a Dr. Gordon Zellaby.
Okay.
In part of the Anderson Institute in Mulgrave Woods.
Okay.
I was fired from the Anderson Institute.
Specifically, why?
In London. Because I didn't want to be doing this kind of work on superheroes. The Anderson Institute had a bad reputation as it was. It taken them 30 years to overcome that problem. Notwithstanding the incident at Porton Down a couple of years ago, everyone had almost forgotten about what happened in the 60s. But this could reignite that and make it worse if it came out.
So, what are they actually doing? Are they taking humans and giving them superpowers and making them bulletproof and radiation proof? Or are they
essentially
experimenting on superheroes?
It's a super soldier program that they're trying to make them biologically immune to radiation and NBC capabilities, in addition to what other abilities they have.
So it's genetically modifying superheroes,
giving them an additional.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. Are they taking humans and turning them into superheroes with bullet?
Yes.
Or are they taking superheroes and adding abilities?
Adding abilities. The Institute had moved away from creating superheroes, and it was more to do with assisting and managing the if you wanted to think of it as an illness, as managing superheroes, whereas this is back to basics, back to creating superheroes with additional abilities, which can have an effect on. Not everyone survives the process.
Sounds very unethical.
It is very unethical. That's why I had to leave.
Does anybody know that you've contacted us?
I hope not.
Have you?
Otherwise, I suspect I'm on a.
Have you tried to publish or get this story out in the open recently?
I did make a. I made contact with Dice, but that seemed to go nowhere. I'm not sure if the information I had was sanctioned, but I did speak to an agent.
What was the agent's name?
I forget their name. I may have it written down at home somewhere. I need to.
If you could remember the agent's name, could you pass? I would appreciate it if you could.
I will.
I think it might be a bit odd that we happen to have been sent up here by Dice. Yeah. That seems a bit of a coincidence. This is what I said, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Can we hear this conversation?
Yes. Everyone in the room can hear it.
Obviously, I can't, but
no,
that was just me chipping in. I'll let you carry on.
It's almost as if they want to. They've been doing this for at least a decade. This isn't run by the government.
Do you know how far the project got along? Has got to what point it's got to? Are they running prototypes? Are they?
I think they're beyond the prototype stage. I've tried to get this out, but I got fired when I discovered that part of the project, the funding, it's been set up by a right-wing member of that's high up in the British intelligence. My understanding is the budget has been appropriated from funds intended for other purposes. That my concern was it's going to be used as some kind of right-wing fascist reasons. Yeah. And I got fired when I started questioning it. Everyone I spoke to has turned up no evidence that Chrysalis is up to anything sinister. I'm concerned that something's going to happen that we can't control.
Thank you for bringing this to his attention. We'll look into this. First off, what I want you to do is, do you have any relatives?
No, none alive.
You've got nowhere you can go away from this village.
I guess I could stay in a hotel for a few days.
Yeah, go to... You like superheroes, do you?
I do. They are... they have been my raison d'etre for the last 30, 40 years of my working career.
Pack a few things. You're going away for a few days.
Okay. I can do that. Where am I going?
That's a surprise. Right. What I want to do is I've got contacts in the superhero convention.
Some.
Yeah.
Some.
I'm going to send her down there as a guest. And basically get them to give her the, treat her as a VIP guest on my behalf.
Okay, so within an hour, she's packed and on the train heading down
Because
to
as
Bristol.
I say, if that lot can't protect her, no one can.
No.
They would get her down there out of the way. It'd be the safest place for her, I think. The other thing I was going is
Cool.
dice. What do we?
Yep.
I guess this is going to be common knowledge for us, because I've got the feeling we've been sent up here as a. Is dice got a dark side,
So-
or are they?
Not that you know. Only, I mean, at the moment you've got a right-wing government, and they are, since Brexit, they are trying to get rid of anything that is European in
Right.
nature. There have been some attempts in the past to get rid of dice, get rid of dice out of the country. There are murmurings, but nothing that you've heard. I mean, there's always murmurings about them trying to get rid of dice, but dice would be hanging on.
I mean, are they likely? Is there any chance that they would be running this project off the books, or is that not something that they would do?
No, you don't think that dice would do this, Chrysalis. You're more than likely to think that one of the right-wing
we
political
were sent
parties
up here
might.
by dice, weren't we?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Because as I say, my main thought is we've been sent up here as a for somebody to have a go to test their new toys with.
Mhm.
But again, as I say, this is out of character. I'm just if dice are not really are not that on the shady side of it. That makes sense.
Yep.
You know, it's sort of like if they haven't got a dark side where they would sort of, you know.
You're not aware of
No.
a dark side. The only the closest you can get to a dark side is that post the collapse of the League of Nations, Interpol was the only entity that really survived. It was taken over by the Nazis in the 1930s. DICE was still part of that, but there was a purge in the 50s to get rid of all the Nazis that effectively had taken over Interpol. So that's decades. That's the only thing that's been really bad about DICE.
Yeah.
No, they've had the odd cock up.
It's sort of like I was just trying to work out whether they would, because what I'm trying to get at is, there was the project in Shield where they were sort of like back engineering, like Nazi equipment. That's the sort of thing. That's what I was trying to get at with the dark side thing. It was just sort of like, are they?
Everyone was doing it. Everyone was doing that to Nazi stuff, Project Paperclip and whatnot. So it's possible, but you're not aware of any dark side of DICE that you only heard good
Fair
things.
enough.
Doesn't mean to say that's
Fair enough.
Yeah. So you've done that. Let's go back to Talisman. What are you doing, Talisman?
Okay, so after the whole tractor debacle, so I've gone back to the hotel and realised none of you are there. So I'll call Diamond Geezer on my burner phone.
Goes on hold.
So you.
I'm on the phone talking to my mates in anyway. Yeah. Okay. So pick the phone up. We're in. Where did we say we were again?
Angle
Where? Yeah, there. I said, yeah, we were just following a lead up. I'll explain it to you when we get back.
Okay, I'll put the kettle on and make a peppermint tea then, and wait for them to come back.
So within a couple of hours, you have her on the train. Yeah. She is heading down to Bristol, using your dice card to get on.
I'd put the receipt for that if I were you.
Yep. What you don't get is all right. So what you don't get is the name of the agent. She's still going through what information she has. Most of it's electronic, so it'd take a while to figure out who she spoke to.
Okay. So what do you guys think?
What does she expect us to do, actually? We can't just go around
Well,
destroying
we don't. We never said we were going to destroy
government property.
She never asked us to destroy it. Well, I suppose, but I mean, we were going up there for a look anyway.
That we were. I mean, we're still going to be doing that tomorrow, I think.
Now, are we?
Not sure whether we should make it surreptitious or not.
Are we? That was my next. Are we making an official visit, or are we going to find out what we can?
What I'm tempted to say, Terry, is we've got one guy that can send an astral form off, and we've got another guy who can basically mold his body into different little shapes and crawl up drain pipes and things like that. I have a feeling that me and thee probably could do the front door if we can get the other pair to sneak around.
Right. Okay. So if me and which character are you playing again?
Sally. Sally the Vixen.
Oh, right. Okay. Me and Vixen will go and do the official visit, and
Yeah, we can do the creeping around stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a
It
plan.
certainly sounds as though this Dr. Haig has got something interesting going on, and I can't really see Dr. Zellaby wanting to go and talk about this in public terms.
Well, once we get back, I'm going to look up Dr. Zellaby on the old interweb, the old wwws.
So should we sneak around at the same time that you go in the front? Or
I think this is all something we need to arrange for the day after now.
Yeah, and what we'll have to do is we'll have to. So what we'll do with the van is obviously Talisman. I'll have to leave because if I'm doing the astral form thing, then obviously I'll have to leave my body somewhere. So presumably we'll go up in the van. I'll stay in the van. So you two go in. I'll just lie down because it's a camper van, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'll just have to basically hide in the van and do the astral thing, and obviously then Mercury Man can use his abilities to again sort of leave the van unobserved. And in fact, what I could do is I could actually teleport. No, I can't really do that because I can only teleport in my physical form, and I have to leave my physical form somewhere safe. But I'm sure we can gain access to the place covertly without too much trouble.
Yep.
Actually, what I can do is what Talisman can do is I can go and have a little a fly around the perimeter in astral form, see if there's cameras and so on, to identify where there's a point that Mercury Man can then also gain entry without being spotted.
Fantastic.
That sounds like a plan.
And in the meantime, you two can go in the front door and see what the reception is that you get there, because we've got biscuit IDs,
That's right.
You have got biscuit IDs,
and that is actually that is a legitimate organisation.
You have a DICE credit card, but biscuit IDs.
I wonder why. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder why DICE then. Call me paranoid, but I wonder whether DICE didn't want to be associated with, because they must have known that we would end up checking this place out, because as I said, it's too much of a coincidence to me that this is happening in this town that we've been sent to for some other apparently random purpose. And I wonder why they didn't give us DICE ID or DICE affiliated ID. But anyway, biscuit ID should get you in the door at least.
That'll get you more places than the because obviously with Brexit that means that anything European is is problematic.
Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah,
cool.
I didn't get any real sense that DICE were playing us along.
No, I didn't either. I'm with you on that. I didn't get that impression.
It did seem as though they were genuinely short-handed and wanted us to chase up this particular angle.
Hmm.
I'm never going to say never, but I think we're in good hands with dice at the moment.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay. So you're going to go tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning.
Because if you're going to walk in the front door, you don't want to be turning up. Make an official visit.
Yep.
Official inspection, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Does that seem right to everybody?
Well, is it worth scouting, doing any sort of scouting at night?
Well, the thing is, I don't think we don't really need to. I mean, I guess Mercury Man and Talisman could go and have a nose tonight because, but obviously we have to sleep as well. We have to remember that. I mean, we're not. I don't know about Mercury Man. Actually, maybe Mercury Man doesn't. I don't know. Does Mercury Man need sleep?
Entirely up to him.
Well, to a certain extent, maybe not. Maybe not sleep where.
I think you're looking at having one of the health powers say that you don't need sleep.
That's right. You need environmental. It's environmental survival, isn't it? I think there is a power that gives you that. I think to be honest, we just go tomorrow morning because again, we don't know. Although I'm sure we do in as players, we know there's something going on here, but as the characters. I don't see. We just turn up. We'll turn up tomorrow, and again, two of us are going to have a. But for the purposes of or we're here to do an impromptu inspection or visit, then you're going to rock up at 9 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning. You're not going to up in the middle of the night. So I think we just go tomorrow, get a good night's sleep, and we know that the lady is as safe as she can be. She's out of, potential harm, right?
Yeah.
So we should do that.
Very late evening. You get another DM saying, "I've arrived at the safe location. I'm being helped by your friends. Thank you."
Okay.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
And I think at some point later that evening, I can mention the psychic incident to Talisman, and he can pull a face when he realises what happened.
Knowledge. I say all I did was jumpstart a tractor. I suppose I did use magic energy, so that no, surely not.
What?
That almost never happens.
You've created a psychic tractor.
Oh dear.
I mean, possibly.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
You've left it in the hands of a local?
I mean, that's good, isn't it? A psychic tractor? Is that not a good thing? Yes, the amulet thinks it's a good thing. I don't see how it could possibly be a bad thing.
Oh my goodness. I need a G&T.
Which is the right response to most situations.
So over the course of the evening, you do get a couple of notifications from the BBC in which the Prime Minister Forbes Bryson has upped his rhetoric against DICE and other European institutes within the UK. There are a number of pundits and talking heads who are indicating that the PM's next move might be to revoke their diplomatic license to operate in the UK. There's a number of right-wing journalists that are talking about this as being an excellent idea and getting rid of them. Polly Toynbee is on the BBC saying, "Oh, it's a terrible idea. DICE are excellent at what they do, giving us safe 30, 40, 50, 60 back to the 1920s, And she says, in light of the resurgence of or the return of the Imperial peacemakers from outer space, that just kind of reinforces the history that we have had with DICE. So I think we should keep them. And then you get the idiot from the Daily Mail and Andrew, got his surname Andrew something. And he's going on Pierce,
yeah.
Andrew Pierce. Dev, yeah, and he's going on about. I said, European. We don't need Europeans in the UK. Biscuit and Crib, and they can handle the rough stuff. We're an island nation. The war. Blah, blah, blah. And you just turn your phone off after a while because it just goes on and on and on. But it seems as if the rhetoric has resurfaced, and the current PM, who is a right wing nut, might be up to something nefarious. Not nefarious, but in terms of getting rid of Dice. This is the worst you've heard the rhetoric.
Politically manoeuvring.
Yes, he is politically manoeuvring.
Blimey.
Fine journalists are buying it, lapping it up. Sounds familiar.
If memory serves, Diamond Geezer had a minor run-in with Forbes Bryson.
But your memory's better than mine because
Forbes Bryson was involved loosely in the Lancelot caper. There was some funding links, or you don't remember exactly what, but his name goes back roughly to that area in which you'd done some work. You can't remember the exact details, but you'd heard that name revolving around the Lancelot caper, but it's a bit vague. So that's the only incident that actually happens overnight. Those two incidents.
Okay, so how long does it take our contact to get down to Bristol? I want to make sure she gets this.
She's
Right.
there. She's there.
Okay, so yeah, just want to make sure
Do we know where this?
she is.
Do we know where this institute actually is?
Yes.
Okay, I suppose following day we better plan to get up there then.
Yeah. If it's not too late evening, we might stop by the bar in this hotel.
Mini bar.
Already there, Blood.
Oh, fancy meeting you here.
So you set up a tab at your bar with the Dice credit card and start popping on peppermint teas and G&Ts, lagers and whatever poison.
Peppermint G&T. There we go.
Peppermint G&T. Oh, peppermint G&T in a glass. Yeah.
I'll give it a go.
Tumblers.
How drunk are you going to get as a team?
Oh, not at all.
We're on
Not
the government's dime, so yeah, we don't.
Just one or two.
No, just a couple, that'll do.
Something to take the edge off, and that's it.
So time passes and you return to your rooms. In the morning, you are all set to drive to Mulgrave Woods and Mulgrave Castle, the Anderson Institute. All four of you are going?
Yep.
Is that
That's
correct?
right. Yeah.
Yes.
After a half an hour, 20-minute drive, because it's not too far, you arrive in the outskirts.
Right, okay.
Oh, there we go. So there you are. You arrive at the castle.
Right.
If you can look on Roll20.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not seeing
yes.
it. Ah, here we go.
Oh,
So
shit.
that's so you're on the outskirts. That's when you got that off Google Earth as well, so you know roughly what it looks like near a lake.
Oh shit. Wasn't I supposed to get out the car before we pulled up outside the entrance?
You're essentially you're not on the map yet.
Okay.
So you're a little distance away before you get on the map.
So, obviously, what we'll do is if
So there's only one road in towards the castle. Is that the AI tractor?
yeah,
Oh yes.
It's really struggling with finding coming up with a sentient tractor, but I quite like that picture. That's quite comic
So
book.
where
As
have
well.
you
I'll
sent
go with
that?
that.
You could make into a transformer.
Yeah, I did think
transfer.
about that, but of course we didn't say that. We just said it was imbued with like magical energy and sentience. So
Yeah.
I think I quite like the fact it's just being a tractor, but it's sentient. It's got psychic powers. There you go. We know it's got psychic powers, so there you go.
This
It's
is
a
going to
psychic
become
tractor.
it's going to become your sidekick at
Will
some
it become
point.
hero or villain though? That's the question, isn't it?
Oh, if it turns.
So where did you send the picture, Steve? Where did you send the
What?
picture?
It's in Discord in the general
Right,
chat
okay.
in the text channel.
I like it.
So, whilst it,
This is great for radio, by the way, isn't it?
yeah. Cool. So you're on the outskirts of the castle.
So Mercury Man, do you think we should? I think what we should probably. Yeah, I think we let them park up because I was thinking we could jump out, but again, I've got to think about keeping my body safe. So I think if they just let them park up in the sort of visitor car park, we'll keep out of sight. Is there a checkpoint, Kevin, when we drive up to the property? Is there like a security
No.
gate or something?
No.
So presumably, if we just get Diamond Geezer to drive up and park the van in the sort of front car park, and then so if we're being watched, and we'll obviously keep our heads down so that if somebody's watching on a camera or something, they'll see the two of them in the front who drive up, park up, get out the van, head in. We're inside the van. Obviously, Mercury Man can change his shape or whatever so that he's not so he's not spotted as a humanoid figure.
Yep.
And I will whisper to him, wait here. I'll go and check the perimeter, and I'll be back in a few minutes. And what I do is I just lay down in the back. I touch the amulet, and then my astral form, which is invisible, comes out of my body, and I sort of drift off through the walls of the van and go and start looking around the. And I'm basically looking for camera points to see whether there's somewhere that Mercury Man can gain access without being caught on camera. So is there a blind spot, or is there loads of cameras, or is there no camera, or whatever?
There appears to be no cameras all the way up to here.
Hold on. Yeah. I'll do that again.
Can you see that?
I'll do that again.
Yep, that's it.
There.
Yeah.
So it's the Y split. There's no cameras up to that point. It's all a black spot at the. I'm going to call this a patio. And this area here is the main entrance. There are CCTV going in, but there's no CCTV around the front. Just that main section.
What about over here?
No, there's no CCTV there.
So presumably, then what we can do is Mercury Man can use tree cover because again he can change his, he can flatten himself down or whatever so that he's not, a walking figure, and presumably then try and gain access through him. Because I do a kind of a circuit all round the perimeter, and then I'll return to the van. And obviously, when I get back to the van, I sort of wake up. And I'll describe to him, or I'll sketch to him this layout and say, look, there's a path here where it splits. There don't seem to be the cameras at the front of the building, but as far as I can see, there are no cameras visible, at least around the edge of the building.
Yep.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Because the problem is I can't communicate with him in astral form, so I can go with him in astral form. But of course, I can't really warn him of anything. But I might do that anyway, just so if he gets into trouble, I can at least then get back to my body and come and help him out.
Where are you going to leave your body?
Well, it's in the van, so we've left it in the van, which is in the. So I presume the car park is presumably sort of down here somewhere.
Did you say it was a camper van?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a camper van.
It's a picture of it somewhere. A
but I'll just,
camper.
Keep the curtains drawn, and I'll just lay down in the back of the van.
Yeah.
And then, so what I'll do is I'll come back to Mercury Man. I'll tell him where I think he can go safely, and then when he's ready to leave, I'll go back into astral form, but I'll follow him, even though I can't influence anything, but I can then, if it's something does happen, I can then get back to my body and I can get him some backup, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So you arrive back at the van, and are you going to bring what's the rest of you doing? Obviously, Mercury Man's going to try and fly in. What are the other
if you're
two
saying
doing?
Right then, Terry.
Yeah, you're saying there's cameras start here, yeah? Anybody's...
Thing is, though, Mike, you want to be seen by the cameras because your job is to
that's
distract.
what I'm getting at. Yeah, did you see that? I'm just trying to think. Oh, fair enough. It's not working for me.
You just click on the map if you want to ping it. Just click on the map.
There.
I'm trying to ping
That's
it.
me.
It's not.
Or just press and hold on the map.
There we go. If you're saying there's camera, the cameras start there. Okay. So what I'll do is
So you can drive up to
point.
that. You could drive up to that point and still not be
but
seen
what
by
I'll
the
do
cameras.
is I'll drive up and sort of like park the van there. Then me and Vixen will get out and we'll walk, so we're clearly seen to be walking up the main.
Okay, so before that, Mercury Man is now flying. Before you get there, Mercury Man's flying into the side of the castle.
That's fine. That's fine because we
So
want him looking at us, not them, not him.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just do this. So this is the refreshed. So Mercury Man is up to here.
Yep.
Talisman's in the back. Talisman's in the back of the vehicle. Diamond Geezer's driving. As you get to here, we have to roll for initiative.
Oh, yeah. More phrase.
Oh, right. So one of us picks, right? So it's 1d10. Who wants to roll then? Because just one. I think one of us rolls for each. So Kevin will roll and we'll roll.
Oh, somebody's going to get the jump on you, so they get an action first. But
only if they get the frames, though.
Oh, no, this is a surprise. You don't know this is going to happen.
Oh, okay.
And then you go into combat.
Right.
What essentially is going to happen is somebody or something is going to appear in the back of the van and stun you with some kind of ultrasonic boom.
Stun us all. This is before we get out the van, yeah?
Yes.
So do you want to roll, Ant? Why don't you go for it? You roll 1d10 if you like.
Okay.
Do you go? If you look on your screen on the left where you've got that little menu bar, the second one from the bottom, there's a dice, and if you go down on the left, you take a d10 and just
see what happens.
There you go. That's a 3. There we go.
So once they've had their action with D10 there. Once they've had their action, 7. So you get, where's it gone? Combat special. So you got a 3. So you got 2 frames, and I got 4 frames.
No, because it's the difference, isn't it? So,
so basically,
you get 2 frames. You get 2 frames action before we can act, basically, because it's 7 take away 3 is 4. So that's a result 3 or 4, which gives you 2 frames of 2 frames where you can act before we can do anything.
Yeah. So teleports in and then hits you with a stunner.
Okay. Hits me with a stunner, or all of us?
Everyone in the back of the van with stunner.
Okay.
Just trying to get did have it up. I dropped the book.
I've got it here. Hold on. So stunner. I've got the book in front of me. So with a stunner, it functions. So it's an energy beam. So it's an energy beam equivalent to energy attack. Weapon class 3. Has a range of 20 meters, but obviously that's probably not an issue. So it's weapon class 3 attack, and it does 3d6 hits to coma. and modifies targets damage dividers by +2. So I don't think any of us have got damage dividers, but it. So yeah. So I don't know if you're going to roll to hit or if you're just going to assume he hits.
You'll get the damage because it just appears and your guard's down. Next round, you get to go.
Okay, so do you want to roll through? Do you want to roll the 3d6 for the Hexacoma?
Yep. 3d6 plus. No, 3d6.
Take that. 9.
Boom.
That stings. Yeah, I actually took the precaution of printing my character sheet out so I can actually write on my character sheet, which is handy. So I'm down to 40 hits to coma.
It's a vibrational hit. It feels like everything's vibrating.
Okay. So what does this person look like? If he's attacking us, what presumably we can see what he looks like.
She is wearing a black latex suit with what looks like an oscillation sign on it.
Okay.
So that's her done.
So we've all got our full. We can take our full actions, right? Because she gets 2 frames in advance, but we can take up to our full 4 frames to act.
Yes.
Okay. Who's got the highest dexterity on our side? Just out of interest, you know? I've got 10.
Can't actually see my.
I've got 15 in human form.
Can't actually see
11.
my character at the moment, so I couldn't tell you.
Have you not got the character sheet on your phone or something?
Phone's downstairs.
Rookie error, Mike. Rookie error. I can look on my phone. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I'm just going into the character sheet area on the Google Drive. Characters. Diamond Geezer. Right. Diamond Geezer has got a dexterity of. It looks like 10. So I think it's going to be Vixen goes first. Mercury Man's obviously off anyway, isn't he? He's not with us.
No.
So it's going to be Vixen first. Then it's going to be a toss up between Diamond Geezer and Talisman as to who goes first. So Vixen, over to you, I think.
So Diamond Geezer's driving, I presume, and lying on the back.
You've marked up though, because Mercury Man had left.
That's right, and I would imagine that I was in the front passenger seat.
Yeah, thanks, Roger. You beat me to it. Right, I think we should kick this scrawny what's-its behind. What do you think?
For that.
I think I shall throw an hallucination into her brain.
Yeah, I like it.
And basically I will try to imagine the most terrifying spider that I can think of. Stick it right in a frontal lobe.
Loving it. So that's am I right in thinking that must be an ego attack, right?
Yep.
So if you've got hallucinations, so blah, 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 blah. So it must be a successful maximum. It's exactly the same as magic spell hallucinations, except it's you spend psi points. Maximum attack equivalent to a 2-handed weapon. Any successful.
A strike must be followed by a successful mental
attack. You need to make a mental attack, basically. So mental attack is going to be.
Attacks.
So it's exactly the same way as a magic attack. So basically you roll a d20, and then you add the ego, and so it's the one with the highest total. So it's like she's resisting you. So you roll a d20, add your ego, which I believe is 14.
My ego is 10.
And then so Kevin gets to roll a d20 as well.
So this plus
I have to say I can't see the dice results. So
Do you want me to do it for you?
I'll press the button.
see.
Don't worry about that. But I just can't see the dice results. This is my roll coming up.
Oh, sorry, I just rolled it for. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so you win basically.
Yeah, by
good.
lots.
So magic attack, and then it says the damage is basically it's I think it's based on the amount of magic points you want to spend, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I've got the magic skill here, magic power here, hallucination. Purely visual or auditory. So you've got the choice. It can either be purely auditory or visual, which is 3 points, and it's 7 magic points if you want it to do like a total, like a total encompassing thing.
Yeah, because you've got grade 1.
Yeah.
So you've got, I think that gives you 15 points. And as I remember, based on magic, I think it costs you basically 1 magic point per dice of hits-to-coma that you inflict. Because I can't see what the damage says there.
Only hits-to-coma damage inflicted by the hallucinations taken by the target. No hits-to-coma can be suffered.
Hallucinations is my psychic speciality, so it's less costs, I believe.
Yeah. So what you do is you do it as a. Okay, I understand it now. So what it's saying is you do it as a two-handed
weapon.
The amount of damage is a two-handed attack because it counts as a kind of a physical attack, if that makes sense. So that would mean it would do 2d6 plus 6 hits to coma. Only. So, Ant, if you want to see the dice rolling on the right-hand side, 20 where you've got you've got the icons across the top, one of which looks like a speech bubble. So if you click on the speech bubble, you should then see the chat, and that's where the dice rolls appear.
Lovely, got you. Right.
Got it? So for your damage, if you want to, you just need to roll 2d6. So that's 7 plus 6. That's what 13 points of hits to coma.
13. So we'll start with that amount, and we'll take it down to.
So you.
No, so she shakes it a little bit.
And that's an action, by the way, just to be clear. So you just used an action, which is 2 frames, but you've still got 2 frames left. So you could hit her again, or you can move or do something different if you want. It's up to you. Or you can hold those frames and let one of us have
I'll hold back at the moment.
Talisman, that your body's just lying there. You're astrally
projected. Have I actually astral projected?
Yeah, you did say you were astrally projecting.
Yeah, fair enough then. Okay, fine.
So
in that case, it's over to Mercury. No, it's not over to Mercury, man. It's over to Diamond Geezer then.
Right. So this person's still in the.
I mean, I wouldn't sod about with Diamond Geezer. I'd
that's what I was about to ask. I'm just going to swing round and slap a tart.
Don't forget, if she's got psychic, if she's using or sonic attack, she could hurt you. So
you are that little voice in your head. That little voice in your head is saying to you, "Stow her fucking head in."
Slap the tart. So there you go.
Okay, so
you're going to have
a sheet.
I've got the sheet in front. So he's basically got fist foot attack, weapon class 3. He's obviously got a lot of strength damage because, of course, he's got super strength. So so Mike, if you're going to make do you want me to do it, Kevin? I've got the sheet.
Yeah,
in front of me.
If you got the sheet in front of you.
So what's her defense class?
6.
Okay, so defense class 6. Mike's attack is weapon class 3. So he's basically got to get a 9 or better. So Mike, if you want to roll a d20, and you're going to need to roll a 9 or better to hit her, I think, as I understand it.
Yep.
Oh, you didn't do it. Okay, so that's your first attack. Now, each attack, because you've got a number of frames, you've got 4 frames, and you can actually hit her again because you've got each frame. You can take a hand-to-hand attack, so that you could potentially hit her 4 times.
Yeah, you hit 40.
Yeah, because she's had 2 frames. She's had an advance, so she's used her 2. So now it's our turn to use all up to our 4 frames, which is our maximum. So I'll just hit her again because 1 frame is a hand-to-hand attack. Again,
She's doing badly.
yeah, you just need to hit her again. You just rolled it. Is that 5?
Yes.
Jeez, seriously.
6, 5, 8.
For goodness sake, climb over the 6.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. You've literally stood there going, swiping at her with your fist, and you've completely missed her.
I'm speechless.
I'm glad your Instagram
I'm
followers
speechless,
can't
I
see
tell
this.
Oh,
You're soon going to be speechless.
So,
So I think it's back over to because what about Mercury Man? Because he's off floating around, isn't he? So he probably doesn't know any of this is going on at the moment. I assume.
no,
I would
doesn't know
assume
this yet.
not.
And you are. So, Talisman, you're not 100%. You're not. No, you're not aware this is going on.
No,
because
I'm not
you're
aware
just-
of it at all because I'm floating around with Mercury Man.
So her next action.
Well,
is
thanks for
to-
protecting me, you 2 doofuses.
She is going to teleport away, but she's going to be holding on to Talisman.
Oh, great.
Can I step in with my 2 held frames or not?
Yeah, you
Yes.
can. Good man.
I suggest that frame 1 is going to be a move as I jump over the seat into the back. And then it's going to be I'm going to try and kick her.
I love it.
Not
You've got
much
martial
space
arts,
in
though.
there.
You're pretty badass, aren't you? Because you've got martial arts.
Yeah, but I'm
as
not
well.
in my Weird Fox form.
Oh, you're not, no.
Okay, maybe not kick. Maybe I'm going to try and scramble over and just lamp one on her. So I'm just a D20, no modifiers. 8. Oh, this is a terrible system.
This could... Yeah, so your because your normal hand to hand is weapon class 2, and she's a 6 there, so you need a 10 or better to hit her at that point. So that's not good enough, I don't think.
No.
As you were, Ref.
So you have attempted. So she's still going to. She's going to do that. She's going to.
Yeah, that's right. So Vixen and Diamond Geezer have used up all their frames now. So
she's simply going to grab Talisman and teleport out
somewhere.
Ding.
Oh, flaming hell!
I get this sudden feeling. I get this sudden feeling that I've left something, like I've lost my keys or something.
There's a moment you think you're falling down the stairs.
Well, I'm sort of floating around, and I suddenly go, "Have I left my keys in the Have I left my keys in the door? Where was my wallet? Where have I left my, you get that feeling where you think something's missing."
So what are the rest of you doing?
Diamond Geezer's waving his fist about, honestly.
I'm gonna need a longer arm.
Mike, that was spectacular.
You could have destroyed her with that.
One punch, you'd have been dead. One would have thought that was not too much to ask, but there you go.
Next time, don't pull your punches.
It was the gear stick got in the way.
So,
I think it was your decision to be as short as Bob Hoskins that did for it.
There you go. You couldn't reach over the seat.
Oh, unbelievable!
So, Mercury Man, you have noticed that you can't see anything. You're still attempting to get into the castle. You arrive at the castle, and along with the astral form of Talisman,
who's keep patting his pocket, going his astral pocket, going, "What have I? I'm sure I'm missing something."
Let me go and check. There is the conduit, the culvert that Talisman pointed out that looks like it could be an entrance into the castle.
Yes, all approach and snake my way in if I can.
You begin to snake your way in, and the talisman follows you in his astral form. Back to the van. Diamond Geezer. Fix them. What are you going to do?
Terry, get out the van. Can you spot talisman anywhere?
Yeah, I'm just going to get out of the van. We're looking.
Okay. As we've established, you're a bit short. You can't see over the van,
But
you can look. So if you, where's my man?
Short.
He peers from around a tyre.
You've
Well, obviously,
assumed that I am short.
Dixon gets out the other side. Oh my God, Diamond Geezer, where you go? Diamond Geezer, where you? I'm down here. I'm down here, mate. Are you standing in the pit? No.
It's when I look under the van and I can see the top of his head, I've got worry.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why he's joined you
it's on YouTube for the moment because obviously we don't know anything's happened. We're off merrily trying to break into this castle.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be in for a nasty surprise when I go back to my body. Like, where the hell am I?
So, next session, character 2, Steve the Tractor.
The mighty Massey.
I've come to help.
You're my lead.
I've always wanted to play JCB.
I'm just going to go and plough that field. I'll be right. I'm just going to go and plough that field. I'll be right back.
I'll plough those villains. So, I wish I was. When I grow up, I'm going to be a combine harvester.
Joking aside, though, I think you guys. I mean, ultimately, we've been attacked. They know we're here. There's no reason why you don't just go up to the front door, Diamond Geezer, and smash the front door in because, it's not like you've.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They've literally come and attacked us before you've even got there. So there's no point in subterfuge. And obviously, once we realise what's going on, but at the moment, there's no point in sneaking around. You might as well just walk up to the front door and smash the door and say, right, what have you done with our mate? Because they've obviously sicked one of their genetically modified superhumans on us, one would assume. So I don't think there's any need for subtlety.
Where's the front door?
There you go then, Kevin. I think the last page is me transforming into Weir Fox and running towards the place with Diamond Geezer.
Yeah, I'm going to run up. I'm going to run up to here.
Okay. Okie dokie.
No, you're supposed to move the figure, not the map. No, I'm carrying the map.
I think you can
Stop showing off and carrying the van.
You put that back. That's because I'm not looking.
Just don't make him make a strike roll to grab the van, otherwise he's not going to pick it up.
No. Let's try what?
Actually, while I'm looking, I was going to double check something because.
Hey, I finally got it. I finally picked it up.
There you go.
Awesome.
So we'll have Talisman next to Mercury Man, and the other woman, as you can't see it, but his body is not there. So Diamond Geezer, smash the door.
I'm going to hit the door.
Hit the door down.
This is where I put my stormtrooper armor on.
Wasn't I sure there was a door smashing table?
There's the pushing, lifting, throwing, and tearing. And that's to be honest, it's as long as he inflicts some. I would say as long as he inflicts some health hits to kill on, because I mean, the examples are. So there isn't really a door, but if you look at something like if he inflicts like 8 hits to coma, that's enough to destroy
for what it's worth,
a motorbike or.
I've just rolled a 20.
Okay, so your strike is so your we said weapon class 3, so that's fine. So you've hit it, and you're going to do you've got the plus you've got damage. So your damage is for a fist foot attack.
Splinters.
It's 2d6. So Mike, if you roll 1d6, actually no, don't roll it because a fist foot. No, hang on a minute. A fist foot attack is 1d6 minus 6 hits to kill. So that does no hits to kill. But then you get to add your damage bonus of 33.
Oh, it's splinters.
and that's sufficient to tear off a piece of a jumbo jet. So yeah, you can smash. I think you're going to smash the door in.
Boot the door in, and it goes straight through, and a whole chunk. It's like there's a scene in which the door keeps flying and goes next wall, gathers speed, hits the next
You know
wall,
what it did?
takes more bricks,
You know
hits
what
the
it
next
does
wall,
with a
and
roll
you
like that? I hit the door, it splinters, and those splinters go and shotgun like a shotgun, and all the bad guys that are standing there, so they all get hit by the splinters.
yeah. No, so that's what you should have rolled.
Yeah, I know.
Against that
Just
woman.
warming up.
Anyway, you're in the castle.
Barbara.
There's a moment of silence. Behind the reception, there's a woman in a white nurse's uniform, and she looks like, some
Many
the
splinters have I
door's
hit
been
her
kicked
with?
in a lot. No, you haven't hit with any splinters, but she's like looking at you completely and utterly in shell shock. Vixen, what are you doing?
Well, bearing in mind I am in Weir Fox form, I will strut over to
Yep.
her and say, Project Chrysalis, where is it? Tell us now.
And she faints on you.
Fantastic. I like these kind of results.
Mercury Man, you are now inside the castle, having slithered through the culvert, and you kind of end up in this area here.
I
So
will follow through the wall, basically.
You should be able to move them, but I'll move
Yeah, I
them
think I
anyway.
can.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
it did
Oh no,
move.
there you go. You've just moved him.
cool. So you can see back towards the main entrance where there is. It's roughly this layout. So you can see Diamond Geezer has smashed his way through the entrance hall. That's the reception, and Diamond Geezer's looking quite pleased himself.
I realise that the subtlety is gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
This
now-
wasn't on the plan. This
Subtlety
was
when
not on the
they kidnapped
plan.
the body of whoever. The body.
I'll move down to if I'm.
Yep.
Where they are.
Oh, we can fill Vlad in now, can't we? They've kidnapped Talisman.
So in my astral form, I'm like, sorry, what? Not that you can hear me, but I'm like, sorry, what? Having said that, if I'm with, I'm still with Mercury Man, so I followed him. So once this happens, what I can do, I can return to my body, and my astral form and my body are linked.
Yep.
So I will be able to return to my physical body, even if I don't know where it is. That doesn't matter. Linked,
No.
mystically. So what I will do is I sort of hearing this on my astral form to return to my physical form.
Yep.
But what I will do is I will obviously play dead, so to speak. So obviously my form is comatose basically when I'm not in it. So I return to my body, and as I'm returning to my body, I look around to see what the situation is.
Lying in front of you in a smouldering heap with her hand out, you can see in the charred remains of the woman a image of your amulet burnt into her hand, which is where the fire started, and she has been burnt to a crisp. It looks like she tried to grab your amulet,
right?
but it has a self-defense.
It didn't like it. Yeah, it didn't like that. No. Okay, in that case, then I will.
She's actually dead. This is the first dead person you've seen.
Okay, well, I return to my. So in that case, then I will drift back into my physical body, and will get up, and I will sort of gingerly, sort of walk over to where the amulet is in her burnt hand. I'll say, I'll just take that, and I'll take the amulet off her and
No,
the
amulet's still around your neck. She tried to grab it.
Okay, fine.
No, and she paid the price of trying to steal your amulet. Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, I look at her, but crime does not pay. And I'll see where I am then. So I'm
You're going to be in these.
inside.
Yeah, you'll be in these woods here.
Okay. So what I will
In
do
there.
then is I will then head around to the front of the building, because obviously the other three don't know what, they don't know any of this, because of course I've now returned to my body. So I'll then walk in behind them and say, "Hi fellas, what did I miss?"
Oh, you're all right.
Well, our friend tried to help herself to the amulet, and the amulet.
Hello.
Hello, yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, we're here.
The
Looks
amulet.
good to go.
What?
Right
Was it necessary to kick in the door? looks like it wasn't locked. He picks up a piece of lock.
I had my lockpicks
Yeah.
out and everything.
I need a
Yes.
lockpick.
We were attacked in the van. Somebody stole Talisman's body, and we went on the rampage. Sorry.
Yeah, I take a dim view of people stealing my body.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well,
Yeah, to
is
Talisman.
that to me or to well, I was in astral form with Mercury Man, and I obviously heard what you said. So I basically returned to my physical body, and it seems as if the woman who'd taken me had tried to remove the amulet. Important safety tip. Not a good idea. She won't be giving us any more trouble, I'm afraid.
Okay, leave it there.
Yeah. Let's just say she won't be giving us any more trouble. And so in the reception area, is there anybody else about, or is this receptionist who's fainted?
As your interaction goes on, a number of orderlies kind of turn up with what look like electroprods, and they kind of like they kind of lower them.
Well, we pull out our credentials and say, "We're with Biscuit. Who's in charge here?"
Sorry about the door.
Yeah, sorry about the door.
And one of the larger orderlies, because I'm, I guess I'm sort of in charge. What are you doing here? What do you want?
Chris.
You've seen the. Can you read the ID, my friend? We're with Biscuit.
Biscuit. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do you not know what Biscuit is?
I know what Biscuit is.
You telling me you don't know what Biscuit is?
I know what Biscuit is, mate. It's like you dunk in tea. Look, what?
No, my friend. No, my friend. We're representing the British International Security Council and United Intelligence Task Force, mate. What that means is, what you need to do is go put on the kettle, and then you're going to tell us all about what you get up to in this place. All right? Chop chop. That sounds more like Diamond Geezer. Sorry about that.
You were channeling him quite well there. Missed out a few slags.
He kind of goes, okay. He kind of just wanders off.
And I point at one of the other orders and say, "You, get me the visitor book right now."
Yes, sir. And he hands you over a book with names in.
Okay, and you, the other orderly, right? I need a directory to this place. You got a map? You got a directory?
Yeah. And he kind of points to the wall behind him, and there's a map of the layout of the castle. And essentially, it's really a number of prefabricated buildings that are within the grounds of the ruins of the castle.
And hang on a minute, Mr. Diamond, would you mind perhaps putting the door back? And I'll get Diamond Geezer to go and retrieve this big heavy door, sort of pick it up and just go and put it back into the gap.
I really don't mind.
Go, there you go, good as new.
Door up and lean it up against the opening.
And it shudders a little bit, and then goes poof, and falls flat down on the outside.
I mean, it's
But and then as it falls down, it pops open.
Of course it does. I'll get my lockpicks out. Oh, I don't need them.
It was unlocked.
Okay, it was unlocked. Of course it was. Right. So this directory? I mean, I presume there's nothing on this directory to say Project Chrysalis, right? It's not going to be that
Sub-levels,
obvious. Okay.
basements.
Yeah.
So yes, there appears to be at least one basement.
Okay.
So if we these are the stairs down,
Yeah.
it just says records down there.
Okay. So so I'll again get one of the orderlies and say, right, we are here to carry out an official audit on behalf of Biscuit, as we've already made clear. You've seen our credentials, so my colleagues here are going to go and you're going to one of you fine gentlemen is going to take my colleagues on a tour of the facility. You, my friend, are going to come with me, and you are going to take me to the records section. Right, lead the way.
So he's nodding, listen to you, and as you say, we're on official business. He kind of leans to one side past you, looks at the gaping hole in the entrance, leans back and goes, okay, it's this way.
Awesome.
Good, you lead on.
I'll have to tell Dr. Zellaby.
Yeah. Oh, I would get him down here right now if I were you, my friend.
Yes, I'll.
And while he turns away, there's a subtle crackle of magical energy around my fingers. I just rub my fingers again. There's a little, like a little cantrip, kind of sparkling effect. I go, yeah, get him down here, mate.
And he takes you down into the records room, pulls out light, and it's like a little electric light. Pulls a little switch off on the wall, and they shake. And there's walls of paperwork and folders, and there's patient identity numbers and whatnot.
Okay.
Some are older and darker than the others, and some. This looks like it's really old data.
But I'll just say to him, right, bring me. Okay, so we're going to do. This is a random audit. Okay, so what I want you to do is bring me. Let's pick something at random. So, bring me anything you've got on. Let's say Trickster Girl. Letter T. Let's go. I am timing you. Yeah, I am timing you, and I'll make a big show of kind of looking at my wrist. Even though I don't actually own a wristwatch, but I'm not going to show him that.
And he goes to one of the folders, goes to T, starts being unable to spell. He's going A, B, C, D, T, and you can see him slowly counting through the alphabet to remember where T sits.
Yeah.
Pulls out a folder and it says Trickster Girl.
Okay.
And shakily hands it to you.
I say, very good. That was 35 seconds. That was very impressive. Tell you what, why don't you go and find where that cup of tea's got to, would you?
I will. Would you like me to keep the light on, sir?
Oh, please do. Yes, that would be most helpful.
And he runs off.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna, whilst he's away, then I'm gonna obviously have a look at the file for Trickster Girl and see if there's anything in there which I learn which is relevant and which is not something we already know, I guess.
You open the folder, and inside is a post-it note that says "Records held at Westwich."
Westwich. Okay. So I'll make a note of
the
that.
Westwich facility.
Okay, records. So while he's away, then I'll also then quickly go and look under the letter C and just see if there's anything about Chrysalis. I don't suppose there will be, but I'll have a look while I've got the room to myself.
There is a folder on Chrysalis.
Okay.
And it's dated 95 to 2005.
Yeah.
Project end, failure.
Okay. So, all right, fine, and I'll put that back, and then I'll just wait and let the others let the others do their thing.
Okay, so wandering up the corridor towards the remaining members of the team is what looks like a doctor. White coat, doesn't look like an orderly, stethoscope around his neck, bit dishevelled, and with a twinge of a Russian accent. Certainly Eastern European. He says, can I help you?
Dr. Zellaby, we presume? I'm Dr. Sally Blake, working on behalf of Biscuit. This is Terry Mitchell, our enforcer. We'd like to know a little bit more about...
Does it react at my name, seeing I've got a little bit of notoriety?
Not that you notice. No, not you notice. He doesn't. It's not an automatic reaction. This is what What can I do to help Biscuit out?
We would like to know more about the super person who attacked us in our vehicle a few moments ago. The connection she has with this facility that you are running. This is not what's
I
supposed
can
to be
assure you
happening.
there are no super people here at present, and haven't been for some time. We've recently moved buildings. We had patients are due up in the next week or so, but we're just setting up, really. We have no superpower people here. We just put our records and medical supplies up. We haven't any super-powered patients. What makes you say that? You said you were attacked
Yes, by
outside.
a woman who could teleport and had some kind of sonic ability.
Doesn't ring a bell for one of our patients. Is she still around? Can you show me her? Or?
Apparently, she's not doing too well somewhere in the grounds.
Or if you could take me to her, I'm sure I could give
She's
some
having a-
assistance.
I suppose that's an opportune moment then for Talisman
She's
to
having a
reappear from the
smoke.
record section. Yep. So I'll say, yes, indeed, Doctor. If you'd like to follow me, I'd be more than happy to introduce you to our assailant.
Mr. Talisman, I've heard of you.
Really?
Yes.
Follow me, and I'll take him outside to the to where the body of this. Well, where let's put it this way. Knowing Kevin, I'm going to say where the body was.
Yeah. So the
Say
body's
that?
not the body's not there.
Okay.
And there's no smoking remains. And he looks over the area. He goes, and he moves his hand down. He gets close to where a body could be, and goes, "Oh, a moment!" And he leans down, picks up a stick, breaks it to about a foot long, and you could see him poking the area. And you go, "I don't think there's anyone invisible there."
Did
you say she turned invisible?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
She actually turned into a piece of cooked meat when she tried to remove my amulet. Still, we know what we saw.
The amulet of the
we know
talisman.
what we saw, and you can certainly rest assured it will be going in our report to Biscuit.
Oh, I'm sure it
your
will.
protestations.
I'm sure it will.
Shall we rejoin the others? And it'd be most helpful of you to give us a tour of your facility.
I can do that. That's not a problem. And goes back, and he starts giving you a rundown of the history of the Anderson Institute. It goes back to Jeff Anderson, and that the beings that were there were created by Jeff by accident. He talks about rumors of the giant monstrosity that ended up at Porton Down that was attacked a few years ago. And it looks like a medical facility, looks like a private hospital, a mini private hospital.
Are there any patients?
Not yet. No, they're not due up for another week or so. We have to finish setting up, get the electrics running. Don't want people moving up here, and we've got no oxygen. What?
I think I'll just take Terry to one side for a moment.
Yeah.
Hulk smash.
Good grief. I can't remember the nursery rhyme that Black Widow used.
Don't work on me anyway.
No, because you're a
I've seen that
Londoner.
movie as well.
The sun's going down.
Terry,
Buck 'em up, big boy. I'm sure that was the end bit.
While this conversation is going on, am I able to?
Hold on a minute. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry, Roger. I just didn't mean to interrupt you, but one thing just occurred to me. So Vixen, you've got the power of you've got hallucination power, haven't you? So what you can do is you could actually show Dr. Zellaby what this woman looked like. You could literally cast like just a visual hallucination, because obviously you saw her, so you could recreate her as a hallucination, and you could actually say,
well,
this
yes,
is what she
if you're
like.
bringing it up, I can do that to him. Yes, see if we get any.
Just as a thought, in case he'll probably won't react, but you can say, as a matter of this is what she looked like, and you can sort of show him what it looks like, and then see whether he reacts to that. Maybe.
Hopefully, she's autistic.
Well, I've got a fairly close view of her. Okay, Kevin, now I'll do that on Spencer's suggestion.
So you create a facsimile of this being that attacks you, and he looks up and he wanders around. He goes, You can see him bending his head, and sort of looks like a former patient of ours. What was her name? Rogers. Yes, like the musical, Rogers and Hammerstein. Yes, I think it was Rogers. Something Rogers. She was here some time ago, actually. I thought she'd moved abroad, but haven't heard Edna tell of her since going on 5, 10, maybe 15 years.
Funny that. Sorry, Roger. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Well, don't know what would make her attack us.
Well, to be fair, she didn't attack you, did she, Doctor? She attacked us.
Yes.
While the conversation's going on,
how very perceptive of you.
Oh, I'm very perceptive.
While the conversation's going on, I'll just wander off down towards the back of the building if I can.
Yep.
I know.
Would you like to borrow my amulet and give to the doctor?
Just walk around, explore, if no one stops me.
No, he's distracted by looking at this supervillain, and the rest of the orderlies are kind of standing around, waiting. At the back, where's my mouse gone? Mouse. Let me get. So at the back, this room here appears to be. It says Green Wing on the door. You think you can hear something, quiet, whispery noise coming from behind the room, the door.
Can't see in. There's no glass or anything.
Nope.
I assume I'll check if it's locked. I'm sure it is.
It's not locked.
Oh. I will push it open and gently.
So the room is a rather large, square room. It's completely white, top to bottom, all white. Around the base of the edges, there are what looks like those IKEA tubs, units for toys. There are 5 children huddled in the corner. Standing in front of them is one of the orderlies holding a fire axe. He looks quite scared, but he's holding a fire axe, and the kids are kind of shaky, a little on edge, but they're hiding behind him with their hands over their mouths.
Is unexpected. So let me get this straight. Is he like threatening these kids, or
No, he's protecting them.
Protecting them from? Can I see where from?
You. He's standing in front of them as you open the door. It's like the last line of defence. An orderly with a fire axe.
All right, I'll not sure what to make of that. I'll just close the door and go.
Can you try and reassure him maybe and see? Is it just because of how you look, possibly, or is it because is there some? I mean, for one thing, the doctors lied to us, said there was no patients, and yet you've just found 5 patients, presumably these children.
Have you got You're the one with hypnotic powers, yeah?
No,
Oh, right,
Mercury
okay.
Man's got
Sorry, yeah.
stretching and flight, and so
Uh,
I guess you could stretch out and just take the axe off him with your kind of arm and say, "There's no need for that, my man." But
yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
sort of disarm him and just say, "There's no need to worry. You know, I'm not here to hurt anybody."
He's simply let go of the axe. There's no need to roll any attack.
Mm.
You can just shoot your hand out, grab the axe, and go. There's no need to. The kids are getting a bit edgy though. They're he's mumbling. You can hear him mumbling. We should have put the panic room in first.
Mm.
Should have put the what?
Panic room in.
Panic room.
Oh, the panic room. Right. Well, it doesn't look like the kids are trapped.
No, it looks like they were
Yeah.
hiding.
But this room doesn't look like it's a.
No, it just looks like a
Okay.
kid's nursery. It looks like the room in Stranger Things where 11 was hanging out. It's that medical.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just take note of as much as I can see, and that is there any. Going to head out and I'll explore the rest of the area, but I'm going to head back to the others and inform them of what I found.
Okay, as you get into the foyer, there is almost an energy ripple. Very, not so much faint, but it's an energy ripple just rolls over you. And then the television behind the reception, everyone feels like it's just a little an energy wave. The television, before it flakes out, there is a moment when there's a news flash from the BBC that says nuclear attack on Bristol Temple Meads.
What?
And there is an image of a mushroom cloud over Bristol, and then the EMP knocks out the TV, just goes to static. And that's a perfect place to end it.
Bloody hell.
Oh,
What?
that was unexpected.
Let me guess. That's where the convention was. Why am I not surprised?
Yes.
Yeah.
Means I've just toasted that poor old lady.
Yes, poor Mrs. Haig, Dr. Haig. You sent her to her doom. So yeah, a nuclear bomb has gone off in
I
Bristol.
really hate
Wow.
Bristol.